Go ahead. What are the latest updates that you're getting?
Well, this is a part of the order we are breaking first on Mirror Now. The Supreme Court is ordering that there will be live streaming of the floor test proceedings, and this is after Tushar Mehta, Additional Solicitor General from the Government of India, has made this submission that not just local channels but all channels would be given the feed of floor test, and Secretary of Legislative Assembly will record the floor test and provide live feed to several local and other channels. So in the backdrop of this, the Supreme Court feels that perhaps no further orders or directions are required, given the fact that it will be all on camera, it will be in the public domain, it will be in full public view, all that is transpiring in the court, in the assembly, and there will also be a visual video record of all that has transpired. If at any point in time any of the parties feel that there has been any overstepping or any misappropriation on the part of the pro tem speaker or whosoever. So this was the observation from Honorable Justice A.K. Sikri, that in light of Tushar Mehta's submissions, that the government or any party does not have a problem with live streaming of floor test proceedings. Honorable Justice A.K. Sikri, in a light moment, said that should solve all problems for all side concerned, and the Supreme Court judges should be allowed to go back and enjoy their week off. So the order is still being dictated, the final nuances, but we are confirming to our viewers on Mirror Now, first ahead of all others, that this is the shape, form that the Supreme Court's directions on the aspect of pro tem speaker will take. Of course, there was another development where it was observed by the Supreme Court bench that a greater evaluation on merits about the appointment of Boppaiah as pro tem speaker would lead for the Supreme Court to seek a reply from Boppaiah as well, issue notice to Boppaiah, make him a party, and that would then go ahead and delay the floor test, which is slated for the evening at 4 p.m. today. So that is a proposition which Kapil Sibal also rejected. He rebutted. He wanted for the Supreme Court to restrain Boppaiah from really overseeing the trust vote. That is not happening in the light of the submissions of Tushar Mehta, that it will be all in full public view, not just local channels, but perhaps majority of the channels will be given access to this feed, which will be recorded by the Secretariat or the Assembly staff and then made available to all the channels. And that, according to the Supreme Court, should sort all the doubts, aspersions on Boppaiah, the manner in which he conducts the floor test. So that is the big breaking news. Supreme Court has directed, after accepting Tushar Mehta's submissions, that live streaming of floor test proceedings would perhaps answer everybody's doubts, and it would be in the interest of transparency, and subject to that, perhaps it also is something that the JDS Congress combine should not be complaining about, given the fact that a detailed examination of Boppaiah's appointment as pro tem speaker would then entail also delaying of the floor test, an option which Congress JDS this juncture does not want to consider. Avni.
Absolutely, Meenakshi. So that's it. At this point, from what the Supreme Court has said, that the entire streaming of there will be live streaming of the floor test proceedings that will be of the House. The proceedings will be telecasted, and that should solve all the problems and all the issues that the Congress JDS had put forth, including the appointment of KG Boppaiah as the pro tem speaker, because everything will now be in public domain. Meenakshi, I'm just going to once again ask you to reiterate this most important point, and now also the fact that things will go ahead as planned, as had been mandated by the Supreme Court earlier, the fact that the floor test will be held at 4 p.m. and meanwhile the oath taking has already commenced in the Karnataka Assembly.
Well, yes, very quickly, a short summarization for our viewers. Bopaya stays as Pro Tem Speaker, point one. Point two, greater examination of Bopaya's appointment as Pro Tem Speaker would entail to perhaps delaying of the floor test. That was a proposal which was not acceptable to the Congress JDS. That was a point which was put forth for by the Supreme Court to both Singhvi and Sibal, saying that greater evaluation of Bopaya would entail delaying of floor test. So clearly that option 2 has also been rejected. Point 3, Tushar Mehta, again ASG for Government of India, made this proposal that in order to assuage every doubt or fear in anybody's mind, there is this transparency that can be brought in by introducing this feature of live streaming of floor test proceedings. The feed would be recorded and made available to not just some select local channels but widely to several sections of the media. Point 4, that has assuaged the Supreme Court to really accept video transmission of floor test proceedings as being justified valid ground to not interfere further into this issue. So point 5, clearly the floor test, all critical floor test for both the Congress JDS combined and Yedi camp and BJP, who is seeing it as a matter of prestige somewhere as well, will go ahead as slated at 4 in the afternoon today, Avni.
All right.